What is going on, everybody? Tyler Brandt back here with another video, and today we're talking more Patriots off-season, and we're going to play a little bit of a game today. So the Patriots list of free agents is pretty long, and there's a bunch of very, very big names on that, of course, including Tom Brady, and we're going to gamify this a little bit today, and we're going to rank some of the bigger free agents and what my expectation is for each one of them to stay or each one of them to go. So I think how we're going to end up doing this is if there's my confidence in them staying, let's say. So 5 means I'm very confident in them staying, and a 1 means that they're probably out the door. And what do I know? I don't know. Not much more than another average schmo, but I appreciate you watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing. And let's have a little bit of fun with this video. The 2020 class of free agents, are they staying? Are they going? And let's get it started. So just some house cleaning Patriot-wise to get this video started. There were 2 names on this list that I wanted to include, but in the last couple days, they have both been like, well, for example, Matthew Slater, someone that I wanted on this list. He signed a 2-year deal for, I think, about $5 million a year, so he's done. Another one, Adam Butler, the defensive tackle. He is a restricted free agent that Belichick put a second-round tender on. Such a good move, but that's, again, a story for a different video. But he's probably going to stay. So my confidence in him staying would be a 5 at this point for that second-round tender. And those 2 are out of it. But the next bunch of guys, they are kind of flip a coin. Some of them I think are good as gone. Some of them I think are as good as being here for the future. So here we go now. Officially, game started now that all the paperwork and other stuff is out of the way. Let's get into it. Okay, so the first name on this list is Devin McCourty. Now, we know Jason McCourty signed a couple days ago, and Devin McCourty's been a captain on this team, and he's a locker room leader. And in probably coming off of the best statistical season of his career, he had 7 interceptions, 2 pass deflections, I think 2 or 3 forced fumbles. He had a very, very good year at the safety position. And I know there's been rumblings of him leaving, especially with Joe Judge in New York now with the Giants and with Brian Flores in Miami with the Dolphins. So there has been some decent rumblings on him leaving. Do I actually think he's going to leave New England? I am going to put him fairly confident in staying, so I'm going to give him a 4. I don't think it's a, lock, stock, loaded staying in New England, but I would be very, very shocked if he left New England, especially with the way the rest of this list and this offseason is going to play out. So chalk Devin McCourty coming off of a career best year, statistically, chalk him up as staying in New England, giving him a 4 out of 5 in my confidence in staying put. So next on my list is Jamie Collins, the middle linebacker, left for Cleveland a few years ago, came back this year, and he had a fantastic season. 81 tackles, I believe 3 interceptions, a couple forced fumbles, 7 sacks from the middle linebacker position, which is very impressive. And I think he stays in New England. I'm going to give him a 4 out of 5 for him staying in New England. I think teams saw him leave, and not really a knock on him, but fell off a cliff in Cleveland. I mean, a lot of better guys have also fallen off a cliff in Cleveland, but I think teams saw that, and I think he's one of the scheme guys in New England that thrives under the do-your-job Bill Belichick defense. So I think teams are going to be a little scared to throw another bucket of money at him, and I think of the few guys New England can be sure they're going to pay and get good production from, I think Jamie Collins is that guy. So Jamie Collins, 4 out of 5, staying in New England this year and for years to come. Okay, next up on the list, we're going to go with Ted Karras, the center who filled in all season for David Andrews, who, of course, we all know missed the season with blood clots. So Ted Karras steps in as the center position, and he did a very, very good job, all things considered. The offensive line, I know, was pretty rough most of the season, but I think, all things considered, he was one of the few bright spots. Isaiah Wynn really came on strong towards the end of the year. The right side of the line fell off a cliff, and I think Thuney and Ted Karras were the 2 that really tried their best to hold the line together, and we're going to get into Thuney in just a couple minutes. But I don't think Ted Karras is going to stay. I'm going to put his confidence at a 2. I think teams view Ted Karras as a starting center, and I think he's going to get an opportunity to start, and it appears that David Andrews is going to come back and make a full recovery for New England. So I just think naturally there's not a spot for Ted Karras, although I would love him to stay. He's great depth, and who knows, maybe they find a spot for him if they do want to pay him. I just think the natural progression of the NFL, it's time for Ted Karras to get a starting spot on an NFL team, especially with David Andrews coming back. All right, so we'll stick on the offensive line here, and now we're going to Joe Thuney. Joe Thuney needs no introduction if you're a New England fan. He is an elite guard. He is an elite run-blocking guard, and he's probably one of the 2 to 3 best guards in the NFL. He doesn't get hurt. He doesn't miss time. The last 2 seasons, he played 99+% of the snaps on offense, and he's an integral part of getting the Patriots that Super Bowl win against the Rams. Him, Trent Brown, that offensive line was as big of a piece as anyone in that season where they beat the Rams in the Super Bowl. However, all good things must come to an end, and I think I'm putting him at a 1 in my confidence that he stays. He is going to get a truckload of money. The team is going to back up the Brinks truck and pay to get him there, and rightfully so. A fantastic offensive lineman who doesn't miss time and is excellent at what he does, and that's what Joe Thuney is. And New England, their cap number, it's 41.5, give or take. That's a good number, and you could afford to pay him if you really wanted to, but he's projecting probably north of 13, 14, 15 million a year, and rightfully so. And I think naturally, for what New England needs to do, for where they are in the draft, and with the offensive linemen and the depth they are at the draft, I think that's a spot they can fill. So, unfortunately, I don't think Thuney stays with New England. My confidence for him is a 1 out of 5. So, the next one on the list here, let's go with Kyle Van Noy, the outside linebacker for New England, who's really made a presence of himself in New England. And I know the Patriot fans adore him, and he's got a great personality, and he has a fantastic life ahead of him after football with all the stuff he does on YouTube, and he's a great personality. Again, he made up the boogeyman mantra and kind of ran with it, and he is an excellent, excellent player. However, with that being said, here's the bad news. I just don't think that he's coming back to New England. He had a good year, 6.5 sacks, a couple forced fumbles, I believe, and 56 tackles, which is pretty good, especially at an outside linebacker. And he was New England's best pass rusher for most of the season, at least their specific pass rusher for most of the season. But I just don't think there's a spot for him here for the money that he wants. He even said yesterday or a couple days ago, he was quoted as saying he wants to be a priority for a team. And if that's New England, he would be happy to stay. But he wants to be a priority. And I just don't think that New England can make him the priority that he wants to be. He's going to get a lot of big money. I think the 2 teams that really are kind of the nets to catch the players that fall from New England's wayside is, to me, I think the Giants and the Dolphins. Again, I already said it. And I think that's where Kyle Van Noy is going to fit like a glove. I think it's either going to be Miami or New York. And I think my guess would be Miami. I think he's going to thrive down there in a big community with a vibrant community. And he's a good player. I would love to see him in New England, but my confidence that he returns to New England is a 1 out of 5. So this is our last 2 guys here, both on the offense. We all know who the last guy is going to be. You probably have a very good feeling on that. But this person, he's a wide receiver, and of course we're talking about Phillip Dorsett. So Dorsett, listen, whenever his number's called, when he's healthy, he's there. I mean, it seems like he never drops the ball when Tom Brady needs to get it to him. And this season, he was injured a little bit, and he kind of had a rough year. I think he had around 30 catches for 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, which is pretty impressive, all things considered. And this one, I think, is the toughest one for me, because I think he came back to New England because he wanted to have another consistent year and then go out and retest the market and see what was out there. He had a worse year this year than he did last year. So I don't really know where he wants to go or what his mindset is. He hasn't really said anything. So I think that he's going to stay. I think New England's okay with giving him more than he has. And I think whoever the next guy is, whether it's Brady or whoever, needs a reliable guy to throw to. And if they don't get a bona fide superstar at the wide receiver position, at least it's a good body that can catch the ball when it's thrown when he does stay healthy. So I think I'm going to set his confidence at a 3 out of 5 staying in New England. I could very easily see him go, but New England has to retain some guys on offense. And I do think if they want to keep Brady, that Dorsett is one of the guys that Brady really enjoyed throwing to. So I think Phillip Dorsett, I think he stays, not too sure, but his confidence for me is a 3 out of 5. And finally, without further ado, we have number 12, the quarterback, Tom Brady. And as much as it pains me to say it, I just don't think that he's coming back. Now, I wanted to get this channel up and running without making it about Tom Brady, because I think the Patriots truly are more than just him. Although, I mean, they owe the world to what he's been able to do. But from what sources say, and I think everything about it we have to take with a grain of salt, but from what sources say, I mean, it doesn't seem like him and Belichick are close, and Belichick's not the one, and he's not the kind of guy that's going to just break up the salary cap to get him what he wants and to do what he wants. He hasn't done that for anybody else, and I respect him for not wavering on that, even if it is someone like Brady, but I just don't think he's coming back. I mean, he had a good season last year, 24 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. We all know the stat line. The passer rating was good, not great, not fantastic. And I still am a believer in him, and I think if he goes to the right spot, I think he's going to make any team that he's on a competitor, depending where he goes. But I don't know. I just don't see it happening. I don't. I think it's time for Belichick and Brady to find out what's out there for each one of them and carve their own legacy without each other. I wish he would stay, and I think it's in the best interest for both guys that they stay together, but it's just a part of life, I guess. You know, people grow apart and look for new things, and unfortunately, football imitates life, and in this way, I think this partnership may have run its course, and it's over. I honestly do think that, and I don't want to think it, but I'm getting prepared for it. Maybe we're all wrong, and maybe he'll be back, but I just don't think it's in the cards. So my confidence for Brady coming back, I'm not going to put it at a 1 because I don't think even he knows yet, but my confidence in Brady returning to New England is a 2 out of 5. So that'll pretty much do it for this video. If you want to get involved, this could actually be very fun. In the comments below, take this list of guys and put your confidence on it and where you think guys will stay and if you think guys will go and where do you think they go and what kind of contracts do you think they get. Shout it out. You know, I'd love to talk in the comments. And don't forget, like, subscribe, share the video, and follow me on socials. Again, I'll put them right down below me here. At the Tyler Brandt on Instagram, on Facebook, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. There we go. That's the last one. So follow me, share, like, subscribe, you know, comment. Do what you got to do. And I'll catch you on the next video.